Blank screen, head full. Didn't know the tools, but I knew the pull. Kept watching reels like how they do that. Felt like I missed the train, that's a fact. I ain't from design school, I ain't got creds, but I got time, so I put in reps. Tight had a blender, hit a rabbit hole, and I found a school and it lit my soul. Quiet moves, steady pace, ran to dreams at my own rate. Blender Octane Skool taught me the game, and I whispered back, this is the way. Scene by scene, night by night, learned to light what I couldn't write. From doubt to pixels that speak today, all I needed was, this is the way. Library stacked with 1,000 maps, Zoom calls filled in the mental gaps. I ain't loud, I just stay sharp. No trees now look like art. They said I wouldn't, but I just might. Turn still frames into real life. It ain't fast, but it's real, and every shade has got that feel. This ain't hype, it's healing. Creating taught me feeling, not for clout or fame, just wanted to know my name. Now I move through scenes like peace, quiet storm but my mind's unleashed. Blender Octane Skool gave me the way, and every render says, this is the way. They say blank screen, head full. Didn't know the tools, but I knew the pull. Kept watching reels like how they do that. Felt like I missed the train, that's a fact. I ain't from design school, I ain't got creds, but I got time, so I put in reps. tight, had a blender, hit a rabbit hole. Then I found a school and it lit my soul. Quiet moves, steady pace, ran to dreams at my own rate. Blender, Octane, Skool taught me the game, and I whisper back, this is the way, scene by scene, night by night. Learned to light what I couldn't write. From doubt to pixels that speak today, all I needed was, this is the way. Library stacked with 1,000 maps, Zoom calls filled in the mental gaps. I ain't loud, I just stay sharp. No trees now look like art. They said I wouldn't, but I just might. Turn still frames into real life. It ain't fast, but it's real, and every shade has got that feel. This ain't hype, it's healing. Creating taught me feeling, not for clout or fame, just wanted to know my name. Now I move through scenes like peace, quiet storm but my mind's unleashed. Blender, Octane, Skool gave me the way, and every render says, this is the way. Say watching how you move, baby, head to toe.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
Concentrate on the conversation.
Pixel camera properties. Cool. All right, guys. Totally unprepared today. I almost probably wasn't gonna stream, but I gotta stay with it. A lot of stuff going on today. Very busy. Most importantly, forgot to take the trash to the road. That sucks. Hang on here. Let's see what the stream looks like. Looks like Agent Rat's in the house. And honestly, I don't really have. I'm totally unprepared today, guys. I didn't even have like I said, I wasn't really going to stream today. I scheduled it last night, but then I realized I had a lot of stuff I needed to do, and I'm totally unprepared. Hang on here. Let me just jump on the stream and see what this looks like. All right, stream looks good. Okay, news. New community challenge. We're going to be doing a new community challenge in our community. Those on Discord, you guys are welcome to do it. The asset, we're using an asset, new community challenge. 2 weeks. We're going to go set up for 2 weeks. We're going to use this asset. Let me get the first of all before I even do this here. Cancel that. I'm so bad. I lost my streak, my fire streak emoji. That's when you're in the community, and like if you've been posting, if you've been active more than 10 times in the community for 4 weeks, you get this fire emoji that will pop up on your profile. And yesterday, I missed 1 day. In how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In 9 weeks, I missed one. I only had 9 activities. I missed about 1 activity. Activities include comments, likes. So if you do a minimum 10 activities, which that day, which is kind of like the max for that, not the max, but something I do. It's my community, right? I should be the most active person in here. So I missed a day. I had 9. You can see it's slightly greenish right there. That's super annoying. Which is really cool. One of the features that I enjoy about Skool. So check it out. Here it is. Only 9 activities. Man, actually that was more than 9 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 week streak. And then look at this one. Ugh, I hate seeing this whole no activity on that day. 0. Oh, I hate it. Anyways, reset it. And we're gonna get this post set up here for the community challenge. So hang on before I get to work, guys. I already put out a post earlier. New community challenge. Where did I put it in here? Right. You know what? Let's just do this. Community feedback. Time for another community challenge. I did it 5 days ago. All right, here. This is the. New community challenge. We're going to be using this asset here from Sketchfab. So the challenge is going to be you can make whatever you want scene wise. You just have to use this robot. So which is pretty cool. So that's going to be the challenge, the community challenge this month. So let's go ahead and grab this link. This is going to be a 2-week challenge. The only requirement is to use the little robot in your scene. Other than that, you have full creative flow or do what you want. Let's just use the robot. So let me know if you guys are ready to do this and we can get started. And let's go ahead and grab a screenshot of that, which I forgot. Get back over here. This one already, Jonathan's already kind of did one. I love it. Let's grab this. Screenshot this really quick. I don't know what we're gonna do today. I think the gate post is almost finished. Actually, probably should just go. We'll probably check on that. All right, here, new community challenge. Let's get a little bit of emoji love on this too. And this will be a community challenge. All right. This is going to be a 2-week challenge. Only requirement is to use a little robot in the scene. Other than that, you have full creative flow or do what you want. Let's just use the robot. So let me know you guys are ready to do this and we can get started. All right. Forgot the name of this series that this robot's from. It's a I think it was a Netflix series, Love, Robot, Hate or something like that. And do I want to send this out as a full... Yeah, we'll send this out to the full community. I think it was like... Love... Bot. Love, Bot, Hate or something. I can't remember the series that was from. That's fine. Alright, boom, fire that off. Confirm. Alright, so that's going down. Community challenge. So if you guys are in the Discord and you guys want to join in, no problem. You guys can definitely get that going. Let's pin this to the feed. Already have 3 posts there. Okay, something's got to go. What is old news? Time for another render challenge. This is it. Pull that out of there. And then let's go ahead and pull. This is old. Again, somebody in our community made this really cool add-on that allows us to, like, if you have the transform, you got 3 RGB images, you have 1 transform, and it automatically connects all 3 just by a click of a button. Super fantastic. And my daughter's home for summer vacation, so you'll be she might be popping in and out of the stream. There. Unpin that. And let's pin this here. Then we also had a free asset from Ralph. He gave us his CD shader, which for his Blender, Cycles, and Octane. If you guys do not know who Ralph is, he has the Blender, he has the Octane Cinema 4D channel, one of the best ones on YouTube. He is a monster YouTuber when it comes to Cinema 4D and Octane. So he's dumped those in there for us. We've got the Octane version and we've got the Cycles version, which is very generous of him. All these yesterday I could have just hit the thumbs up and I didn't. Ah, shucks. Whatever. So I'm still a little butthurt over that. New work feedback. New work feedback. Would like to ask some feedback for my latest work. I just have a few questions. I would like to know proper sample for frost glass. I just couldn't get rid of the noise, whether I used a rough glass material. I relied mainly on denoiser in DaVinci that makes it look dull. What settings should I use about the lessening of noise? 2, I'm also having issues not making my scene overexposed. Blender doesn't have scopes built in. How do I check if the scene is using proper exposure? Oh, that's a good question. Great animation, very nice animation. Nice work. I haven't tried it myself, but Octane has false colors to check with the exposures on. I'm thinking of some add-on. And then yes, it does. I tried fiddling with the false color, but I can't seem to make it work. When everything is green and the scene looks too dark, I also downloaded a viewport scope plugin, but it turns out not to work for Octane. Yeah, don't try to do this in Octane and inside of Blender, guys. Color correction should be done like in DaVinci Resolve. I've only used false color briefly when I was using Blackmagic camera a couple of years ago. I don't know if it's supposed to aim for green skin tones of green, for example. I forgot. Okay, I think this is going to be a good subject to work on. I've forgotten the green colors are slightly underexposed. Gray is middle, and slightly. It depends on the scopes. The scope, false color model setup. But all of the beginner guides I found use okay. Also, possible playing around with exposure. Okay, let's see what you got going on here. Dude, I don't see what's wrong with your render, dude. This is perfectly fine. I think you're just pixel peeping. Alright. This stream is going to be about this problem here for one of my members. Sorry, guys. So dude, this render is absolutely fine. Like, I don't know. Okay, I can see it's a little soft, but I think that's probably over. The frosted glass looks fine. I mean, it's frosted, so it's not going to look pixel free. Like, I don't see the noise. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to cut this portion of the stream for Santos. All right, bro. So I'm looking at your question here. Just from looking at your render, dude, I honestly think you're pixel peeping too hard and you're trying to strive for perfection, which is something most artists try to do all the time, but nothing can be perfect. To be honest, this looks absolutely fine. And this is a great case of 80% is better than 0% done, right? Like, I think you've just been pixel peeping on your own project too long, because I mean, this looks clean. This looks absolutely clean. Now, as far as the lighting goes, let's at least jump into Blender. And you guys were talking a little bit about false coloring and stuff like that. Actually, this was a scene I was kind of messing around with here, trying to get this just playing with some texture sizing and stuff like that. Right here, this is what you guys can see here. I got this water map mixed in here. I'm actually mixing 2 displacements. I was trying to figure out like a good workflow of mixing 2 displacements here. So here's my setup: vertex displacement mixer, and we got 2 displacements coming into there. And then I've got this mask on top here to control my water, or the grass, and the yeah, there it is. Kind of like, no, it is the water. Yeah, the water. So there it is. That's that. But that's cool. Actually, we probably could stay in this scene for a little bit so I can show you. Now the vertex, not the vertex, but the false coloring. Again, this is coming from my cinema for my lighting days professionally and mobile filmmaking and cinematography stuff. So the false coloring, there are different scales as far as, do I have the add-on still on here? Yes, I do. I have the add-on in here. And thanks to the add-on, which we got from Red, you can easily access the false color right within here. You don't have to jump down. So like the new, if you have not downloaded, it's not just the add-on here in the community. This is the add-on we're working on, right? And I got false color reading right there. Okay. Now the false color scales are slightly different. There's different like I forgot the name of this one company. They have a whole different color system that they use for there. So let me just quickly jump online and show you guys. It's just a tool to help guide the light. Now, also I wouldn't recommend trying to try to do color grading, exposuring stuff inside of Blender. Like, go to DaVinci Resolve. It's the best. It's industry standard tools. Like, why would you try to do professional color grading, exposure, things like that inside of Blender? That is like, I wouldn't even with add-ons. I wouldn't even touch that. I would just go to DaVinci Resolve because that's what pro colorists use, right? So don't even try to do that. Get your render to where you want it, where you think it looks great, and you're done with. Export out those EXR so you can maintain the highest quality, maintain the most maximum lighting range, you know, of all the range as far as highlights to down to shadows. EXRs hold the most, okay? So that should be number one. If you're exporting anything else other than EXRs, you're losing quality, right? Let's see here. False coloring scale. Now there's different, yeah, so there's different scales and there's different colors based on like what you're using. There's some tools or monitor tools that use a different coloring, grading, and scaling and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of this one tool that I can't remember the name of it. But let's look for the one I think we're using here. Okay, this is probably a good one. Let's take a look at this one here. Yeah, and like even when I was doing my filmmaking stuff, like again, I wouldn't rely on this all the time. This is just a general tool. Okay, so in this case, see, again, they're using DaVinci Resolve here. Like, you just gotta be using DaVinci Resolve when you're trying to do exposures and stuff like that. Okay, that's the atoms. And another tool that we use here, right here, is the man, I forgot the name of this tool, but it's also in DaVinci Resolve. This is basically the overall color strength. Again, 100 being completely exposed, down to 0 meaning your shadows are completely crushed, right? Where's that scale at? Okay, so here's the scale they've got. They've got red being whites are clipped out, okay? And typically most of all of them are always going to be like that. Red is totally clipped out. Then you got yellow, which is just below white clipping. And then you've got pink, which was one color stop over medium gray, Caucasian skin. Green is 18% natural gray. Just above blacks being clipped is blue, and then purple. And that's on this one. But look, here's all these different color systems for each different, like everyone is different, right? Here's reds. Ari Alexa, theirs is totally different, right? See, it's all totally different, okay? So yeah, here it is, Small HD. That was a company I was trying to figure out. So I think that the coloring system that Blender is typically using might fall. This was a good little IRL level kind of thing here to look at. Let's see what Blender's is kind of looking towards here. So let's go into, let's crush them first. Let's crush down our shadows. Okay, so boom, that's right there, totally completely crushed everything. This is the lowest value of light. So if we jump back over here to the tool here, and let's turn that off just so we can see everything's blacked out, right? So this is black and then blue. And if we come back over here to our scopes, to our here, right here, black and light. This is completely 2 on the scale, 0, and right, so it's very low. It's extremely low. Okay, and then if we come back and let's go ahead and bring back up our exposure. Hold down Shift, start bringing back our exposure. Let's just get everything kind of green. All right, there's kind of green, right? There's a little bit of green, a little bit blue. Now these blue, now we know these are being clipped. That's going to be almost completely black right there. So if we come back and turn this off, yep, almost completely black. Basically, it is black. Now we can start to see. So green is not necessarily just saying that you're going to be okay. Green is just showing you the level of intensity as far as the light's going to be in that case. Then if we come back to our false color again, fire that up. Let's just go hotter. Let's go hotter. Now we've got a, let's see where there's gray values at here. This is this gray value. Let's see where that's popping up and what that looks like. We come back here, turn off our false color. And gray. Here's our gray value. Okay. Now, even if we look along the pants here, it's a little bit more brighter. And let's see what that's coming in on the color. That's coming in even a brighter green, right? So if we just keep going now and pushing it, we got a very bright green. Now we get our yellow. I'm going to keep pushing. Here's our gray. And let's see where that gray comes out on the scale again. Gray. Dark gray is in between 20 to 42. This lighter gray is in between 58 to 73. So you can say any of these grays, you're kind of in the middle, right? A bright pink, a medium gray to green, you're kind of in the middle of these IRR levels here. Once we start getting into the yellows and the oranges, now we're going to start to get into clipping, okay? So there's right now we're starting to get into yellow, but then we got some grays here. So these grays and these greens can be kind of neutral, right? Now if I jump back out of here and let's go ahead and kill the false coloring, there it is. This is kind of neutral here. This is a little bit warm, a little bit hot. What's that coming from? Hang on. Okay, sorry, getting totally distracted by messages. So we can see we're starting to get some clipping on the pants here. It's getting a little bit hot there. If we go back to the false color there, yep, because all of this is yellow. But even this is being yellow here doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's not. It's just telling you where it's at. Like, this might be what you want, right? So the thing that we just kind of want to know is, like, if it's in the red, then you are clipping. You are losing data, right? That data is maxed out. So if I come back down here to, back over here to Octane, let's clip it out. Let's just clip it out from here. Right? Look at this. This is all pure white. There's no more data. We lost it. It's all clipped out. So this technically should be red once we get back to the false colors. We come over here, turn on our false colors. Oh, it's actually orange. So there's still some data left in there. Now, one thing that's nice about Octane, check this out. If we go to Octane here, and if we scroll down to right here, highlight clipping, what is it called? Highlight compression, right? It's actually still, look at this. It's actually bringing some data back. So if I pull this away, now we're not, it's just gone, right? Like, we've lost all that data. So we can bring some of that data back with this highlight clipping, which is absolutely fantastic, right? And then clipping to white, even here, look, we still can bring some more. So between playing with this and this, we're able to salvage some of that data that we're losing, because now we're getting pretty hot, right? We're getting pretty hot. If I kill that all the way down, and let's come back here. Let's kill the false color. Actually, I probably can just use the false coloring down here so I don't have to keep going back and forth between the plugin and this. Let's just leave that there, and let's come down to settings. Right here, false coloring. Step that back to raw. There, now boom, everything's completely blown out, right? And again, we could still try to get some highlight compression. Look how much the highlight compression does bring in, but it's still, it's done, right? It's completely washed out. So let's see if we just go to 80. Let's just go to 100. Let's see what that looks like. It's still red, but it's not dark red. It's orange. So can we get it to go full red? 2000. So this is the max. This orange color is the max, okay? So again, coming back to our scale over here. This orange right here is the 100. See, we are clipped. That is it, 100. It doesn't go into the 108, okay, as far as the false coloring goes. Actually, I'm gonna take a picture of this here so I can use this later on to show in the post that I'm gonna do after that. So that is just a tool when you're using the false color. Here again, it's showing that line. it's showing that line. Good skin tones happen between 38 to 64, 64 IRE. 7 to, what is that, 10% super black zone, or 0 to 10%, right? And then up here, flash zone, I don't know what this one is, 90 to 90%. Clipping happens, clips begin to happen around 99%. Super white zone, 99 to 120, okay? So the flash zone, I don't know the flash zone, or flesh zone, sorry, skin tones right here will be 55%, and this is kind of right here in that middle here. Good skin, like they said here, good skin tones happen around 38 to 64 IOR. So how do you use Quixel Mixer? Would love to see some example. I don't have Quixel Mixer, bro. I had it on here and it wasn't working for some reason. I couldn't get it to work. So again, this is a different scale here they're using on this one here for their skin tones, are sitting around the pink, but the numbers are still going to be around the same. It's just the color values they give are slightly different. Okay, same thing here. There's our color zone. There's our color. Yeah. So that's a quick crash course in the IOR and how to use that. So obviously here we're completely blown out. So we know that that's just no bueno. So we'll just set that back to 1. And then again, if we actually bring his face in here. Yeah, that Quixel Mixer, man, I used to use that a lot on my laptop. I actually love that thing, but I recently downloaded it and I couldn't, it didn't work. Like, it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't even working at all. I actually had a couple videos that I did with using Quixel Mixer. Let's also make sure I get the focal point on him. All right. So obviously this side of his face should be completely blown out. And it is completely blown out, see? So that would make me want to just basically back that value off until, like, let's get his face kind of exposed. Like, let's do like maybe this a little bit. Maybe something like this. So his face should be pretty well lit. We got a little bit of green. We got a little bit of gray here on the sides. Let's see what that's looking like. See, and there's that little bit of blown outness happening right there. So we could even back that off a little bit more. Quick crash course into that. Now, one other thing he was saying in his render that he was having issues with. If I can bring the post back up. Where's the post? Also, I'm having issues making the scene, not making the scene overexposed, but doesn't have scopes. You don't need the scopes. Yeah. So what I would do is once you get your levels to where you want them, take it into DaVinci Resolve and use DaVinci Resolve's tools as far as working that exposure and making sure you have your stuff set to EXRs and color grading. That is like, you got to have that set, man. If you really want to get hardcore onto color grading and exposure control, I wouldn't try to do it in Blender. Plain and simple, don't try to do it in Blender. Yep. And as far as the glass, I would like to know proper sampling for the frosted glass. I can't get rid of the noise whenever I use rough glass material. I rely mainly on denoiser in DaVinci, which makes it look dull. What settings should I adjust? Yeah, settings. I need to see your file. If you give me the file and I'll take a look, but from the video, like, the motion is going by so fast, like, I can't even see any noise, man. Like, I can't see any noise, dude. And with the motion blur, I'm not seeing any noise. And it's frosted glass on top of that, so, like, look at frosted glass in real life. It's not, like, pristine, so. That little paint intro part is really cool. I actually wonder how you did that. Like, did you do that in Houdini or something, or did you do that in Blender? Yeah, I can't see. Let's just bring in some frosted glass really quickly here. and just quickly play with that. I'll go into a fresh scene. Quixel Mixer is dead. Just use Substance Painter. Yeah, but Substance Painter costs money, dude. Quixel Mixer is free. Yeah. And then Quixel, I mean, Substance Painter is owned by Adobe now, so it's like, yeah, I'm kind of like not trying to add on more to Adobe subscriptions. I could have sworn I had that on my computer, guys, and I think I just took it off because it wasn't working. It used to work on my laptop, and when I went back to the website and downloaded it again, like it just wouldn't do nothing. It wouldn't start. Substance is expensive. Hell yeah, it is. If I had the money, I would. Yeah, it's expensive, and just for texture painting, like, ah, there's alternatives. Like I've seen a lot of cool videos of people doing it in Blender, but you're just not having all those really cool tools and stuff like that, right? So, did you recently down Quixel Mixer or something? Because I tried like a couple of months ago, and I couldn't get it to work. Like, because I used to use it heavily. I loved it. It was my alternative to Substance Painter. Like I actually, yeah, I was using it last year, and when I had my laptop before I got this system, I had it, and ever since I got this system, I tried to install it once, and it wouldn't work. Okay, let's see what's up with the salt. He's having some issues with his glass, frosted glass, right? Let's just kind of bring in like, I guess a cylinder. Let's go ×2. Subdivide that bad boy out. Actually, I don't want to do this. Let's just bring in a sphere. I usually play around with dirt and choose textures in Blender, but sometimes I use Mixer. I just like Mixer because it was quick and easy, and like you're not really worrying about the render engine. You just like fire it. I can just work really fast on it, bring my maps in, and then export them out, and then throw them into Blender, and I was like ready to go. Yeah, I installed it a week ago. It's kind of broken and it can't load textures in quick. Yeah, because they're not. I know they stopped. It's discontinued. They don't update it anymore. I've had it for a while now. Never had issues. Maybe it was from your antivirus. I have no clue. Yeah, I don't know, but I've searched on the web, and they were saying they're not servicing it anymore, and it's pretty much done and dead. Instant Mat is a free alternative sub. Yeah, there was a couple of them. I did kind of search, and I haven't tried that one, but I know there was a few alternatives. You might have to start looking at some alternatives, man. Add a new material on here. Add a specular material. I must have an older version than you may have. You might want to hold on to it if it's working for you. Yeah, if it's working, hold on to it. All right. I don't want to kind of see any background. I just want to kind of. And pop this in. I don't know why I got that error. What's that error for? Whatever. Scene. I don't think this one, my version was connected on this one, right? I don't think so, yeah. Probably wasn't. I'll just kill that for a minute here. And let's go ahead and just bring in our classic 3-point setup. There we go. And let me just come in here and crank that up, exposure. So, again, as I was talking about the exposure setting and false coloring, come back in here, boom, turn on our false coloring, there it is. And then we can come back in here, and I want to get a little bit more heat in the scene. Like maybe even pushing in the yellow, there we go, kind of something like that. Right, and then we got a little bit of hot spots from that. That's no big deal. So frosting. Let me go 56 on the Kelvin scale. Mixer is still good. Oh, Wishbone, hey, what up, bro? Mixer is still good, just a little slow, but yeah, I spoke with the team. It's dead and won't be getting updates. Yeah, that's what I figured. And yeah, I don't think it's connected either with like Quixel Bridge anymore, or like with the like bringing in the materials. I don't think it's connected either, right? All right, let's frost. So he was having noise issues with the frosting. So let's just go ahead and do something like that. Let me drop in my camera really fast. And actually, that's one thing I want to build into the. It is connected. I can import textures from there right into Mixer. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, see, I on this new computer for me, like it doesn't sync up. It just doesn't sync up. I think it can still import materials, but it's wonky. Yeah, I'll back the wonky, but definitely for me, I couldn't get it to work. But honestly, even when it was working, I still couldn't get it to work. Like I didn't know, I don't know. It would never import them in, and then I would just kind of manually and brute. I had issues for it even when it was being updated when I used it a couple years back. That's the thing I'm gonna ask on build into the add-on, guys. Like, I don't like how I always have to switch. Like once I jump into the camera, right? So I'm gonna start adding. I might just make another. I'm thinking I'm like adding too much into this thing here. Like we've been adding a lot of stuff to this. Like we've got the presets and we've got the camera right here with the view camera. Like I think I want to add just a few little more options that will help us to quickly do things we repeatedly do all the time when we're messing with the camera. For example, what I'm doing right now, like how I have the camera set and now I'm going into the camera to go to the viewport settings and do this passport tour. I'm thinking about putting this right here inside of camera controls, and then also putting the limits, because we always turn limits on, right, so we can see where our focal point is. Taking limits and taking passport tour and also putting those right here into camera view controls. So what do you guys think about that? Let me know. I'm gonna put that on the list of things. Actually, I really actually want to just get this out right now. Like I want to stop adding stuff because I just keep adding stuff. We can always update it later, but I want to get a full working version. Reg already got the disabled background to work, so I just don't have that version updated yet. I haven't updated to the version he has. See, these are working now. The f-stops are working. So we can drop the f-stops to a 2.8 or a 5.6. Yeah, that will be useful. Yeah, I think so too. That will be useful. All right, so he was having issues with the noise. Let's see. I just honestly, when people have issue with noise, they just don't have enough samples. Or they don't realize that how many samples you really have to have, and also how much light you probably need or lack. You know, a lot of people, every time people give me my render's so noisy and I get their file and it's like they only have like 2 or 3 lights in there and the lights are very low. Something's blocking the light, you know, or they're shooting the light through glass. Like those are heavy up when it comes to trying to render shooting light through glass. That's why in architectural visual they always do fake glass to reduce that render time. So quickly, before I get out of here, I want to figure out at least a good setting to give him as far as. Okay, so we do look a little bit noisy there. And of course my viewport is only set to 250, plus I have denoiser. See the denoiser kicks in, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to 1000 and make sure we save this, because you know how Blender likes, you know how Blender is. Right, when you got something important to do, it crashes. It don't matter if it's Octane or Cycles. that's just a Blender trademark. 25 7 streaming height noise test. Dude, this did this to me yesterday. It's not gonna render, and I think it has to do with OBS. Every time I'm running OBS and I go to do full render, it crashes. And then yesterday I shut off OBS and it worked fine. What? It's gonna crash again. Boom. See? Dude, what is going on? This is an OBS thing, man. Like something's going on in the background, like between the GPU or something. Because this happened to me the last time. And as soon as I killed OBS, everything worked fine. Man, what the hell, dude? No camera in scene. Oh, no. It's working. Okay, so that's scene related. It's not Blender, it's scene related. What did I do? Oh, hang on. Is that the add-on? Is that the add-on doing that? No, I got the add-on running right there. This is a unrelated question, but what video games do you enjoy playing? I do. I'm a racing sim guy, like hardcore sim guy. Like I don't even really play games anymore. Like when I was playing games, I was doing iRacing, and I never played any more systems after that. I was just full on computer iRacing sim, which is like the most realistic simulation racing game. Like everybody has a license. You get points. Like if you hit somebody, you crash, you go off road, you get points mined off your license, and then your license only allows you to race in certain classes and groups. So the better the cleaner and the better your license is, you get to race with more better drivers, and like even pro drivers race on here. Like, but to get in those elite groups, you got to be like, it's all about your license, your racing license. It's absolutely a fantastic racing sim. So after I started playing that, like system video games were just arcade to me. Like it was like you can go off road, you can crash people, it didn't matter, no penalty, right? And yeah, once I started doing sim racing online with iRacing, yeah, yeah, a set of course is pretty cool too. But again, iRacing is just for hardcore sims. It's like it's hardcore, dude. Like I used to do, what was the other one? What was the other one I used to do online? Forza. Like I would do that, and I hated racing online with people because people would just be stupid. And that's when I went to iRacing, because like if you're stupid on iRacing, one, you can either get banned, two, your licensing gets knocked, your points get knocked down, so you start racing in lower classes, and like the bottom lowest class is like nobody, I personally race better just so I can get out of that group to be with more serious racers, and it's a fantastic system. So yeah, after that, I never played any more system games anymore. And if I ever get back into gaming again, it's going to be just for iRacing. And actually, I got the GPU now to do it. But I'm focused on this right here now. So, all right, guys. I gotta do some debugging and figure out why I can't render certain scenes and stuff like that. That's bugging me because that happened yesterday or the last time I streamed when I was in a scene, and it happened on the Osaka streets. This one worked, right? I think this one worked. Yeah, this one worked. Okay, so it's something that I'm adding into the scene that's not allowing me to render, because that worked. But yesterday's the Japanese gate didn't work that we worked on. So I wonder if it's a material thing or something. See, this one didn't work. See? So I need to figure out what's causing that. What's causing that to crash like that? Let me jump into my site. Oh, you know what I think? Maybe because I changed this set scene? I don't think so, but hang on. Octane. See, now we're getting this error down here. This is, I'm thinking, having something to do with it. Let me copy this and plug this into the chat GPT bot, the Octane bot. See that crash blended right there too. Oh no, I didn't crash it, but it should crash once I go to render. Oh, it did it. Boom. That is the corporate. Me changing that up at the top to make the add-on work causes it to crash. Okay, so I already debugged it. See, now it's rendering. All right. So I got to do some more debugging on getting my Blender startup scene compatible with the new add-on, guys. So quickly summing this up. If you guys are interested in doing the Blender Octane challenge with us, guys, the Discord guys, you guys can definitely do it. This is the asset. I'm going to go ahead and plug this link in there and paste a post. We're going to basically do for 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks to make a scene, a render challenge, and use the only requirement is to use our little bot here that we found on Sketchfab. That's the only thing. Other than that, you can do whatever you want. It can be in whatever aspect ratio, whatever form you want. It could be an animation if you want. The only thing is you just have to have this little guy in the scene. So I'm probably going to get on that too. 2 weeks will be a nice amount of time. And then, yeah, we'll kind of do like a live thing and then kind of like look through everybody's stuff. So I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I'm curious to see you, Agent Rat, get something going. You'll probably be loaded up with some guns, right? You'll be like, yo, what's up? The AK or something. Right? So let's get that going, and we'll post up the results on that, because the last render challenge we had some excellent results come in from the past challenges and stuff like that. Just some clutch stuff, man. Clutch renders coming in there last time. Sweet. Right, and those were using the Pixel Lab, the new Pixel Lab Blender Octane materials. Those are all Pixel Lab Blender Octane materials right there. All right, guys, sorry for a short scene, and today was totally unorganized. Again, like I said, I wasn't going to stream, but I at least wanted to show up, even though I wasn't prepared for today. And yeah, probably Monday, and I'll have some time to get prepared, because I just got a lot of stuff on the menu today, and I really need to get to work on getting some other stuff going. So thanks for supporting, and I will catch you guys next week. Well, Monday. We'll get back on Monday and get things popping. All right, guys? Peace.
Octane, you're the fuel to